Meeting of the Amherst Township Trustees called to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Abraham?
Here.
Lynch?
Here.
Urick?
Yes.
And I am also present. I have the meeting minutes from the July 22nd Amherst Township Trustee meeting. It was called to order at 7:02 p.m. by Lynch with pledge to the flag. Roll call, Abraham, Lynch, Urick, and Kish were present. Also in attendance, Case Marsh, G. Lynch, R. Valentin, F. Amica, and L. Irvin. 7/7/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick, to approve the regular meeting minutes of July 8th, 2025 as read. All ayes. 7/8/25, a motion by Urick, seconded by Lynch, moved to approve the financial reports and payment of items on the payment listing as presented. All ayes. 7/9/25, a motion by Lynch, seconded by Urick, moved to approve that the June 2025 credit card account transaction detail has been reviewed per policy and is accepted as presented, subject to investigation. All ayes. Fiscal officer reported she has heard back from Michael from the state auditor's office, and he is leaving his employment with them and is passing on all completed and uncompleted work to another agent who will be contacting me to complete our audit. No time frame was given. Also reported that we received the $20,000 more grant money from OTARMA. Under audience concerns, Farah Lillian Amica, running for Oberlin Municipal Court Judge on November 4th, and wanted to introduce herself again and ask for support in November. Under correspondence, Lumos Fiber Internet, Construction Manager Richard Jocelyn, Project Manager Mark Mullins were supposed to be in attendance this evening. Received an email correspondence from Dovin Reber Jones Funeral Home regarding indigent cremains and the cost to Amherst Township for this regarding individual. Trustee Lynch noted that there are some steps that the funeral home will have to go through for proof of indigent status prior to Amherst Township covering this cost. Lynch reported there may be some indigent burial funds available in the recently passed Ohio biennial budget. Under reports, ambulance. Sandstone Joint Ambulance District quarterly meeting was held on Thursday, July 16th, 2025 at the Amherst Fire Station. Life Care did present their first report from their new software. There are still some kinks to work out reporting-wise. The board wants to continue to investigate the billing of non-residents for their motor vehicle accidents in the township as means to recoup costs incurred by the township for those accidents. This would warrant a separate billing service to coordinate this, and 4 were presented. This will be discussed in more depth at the next meeting, and currently there is not a date set. Under zoning, the zoning inspector reported 53 new homes year-to-date. Through today, collected $64,040.40 in fees and $11,250 in Sandstone Park assessment fees. At the July 24th, 2025 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, they have a use variance for Ledbetter storage units on east side of State Route 58, south of State Route 113. Under roads, cemetery, and parks, all regular maintenance running smooth. Dovin Landworks is cutting brush along Township Road right-of-ways. The county is painting the lines on the designated roads that were estimated back in February. Mounted the AED box in the park. Still deciding where the one will be mounted here at the township for the field across from the township hall. Still working on setting up a meeting to discuss future road rehabilitation plans with interested residents participating in the planning. Under LORCO, Lorain County will receive $64.4 million for sewer upgrades to spur a mega site development surrounding the Lorain County Regional Airport. The State of Ohio's Controlling Board approved the funds from the All Ohio Future Fund on Monday, July 21st. The sewer expansion funded by the award would allow the creation of a regional sewer district known as the 6119 plan after the chapter of Ohio Revised Code that governs its creation. Establishing a regional sewer district for collection, treatment, and disposal of wastewater first requires a petition, public hearings, a court ruling, further hearings, a plan of operations, and then another final hearing. This would not be limited to just the townships impacted by the new sewer project funded by the state's $67.4 million grant, but also open to Lorain, Amherst, Elyria, and other cities. Phase 2. Trustee Lynch reported that the Lorain County Stormwater Management District held their annual Stormwater District meeting at the Lorain County Township Association meeting on July 17, 2025. Complaints are being handled by the designated individual. And under new business, the next regularly scheduled meeting will be Tuesday, August 12th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Amherst Township Hall. 7:10:25, a motion by Urick, seconded by Abraham to adjourn at 7:54 p.m. All ayes.
Are there any changes or corrections to the July 22nd meeting minutes?
I have none.
If not, then I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Lynch?
Yes.
Urick?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
Okay, then you have your financial reports in front of you, the payment listing. Sorry about all the voids and re-enters. There were a couple of payments for our monthly OPERs, et cetera, that I had paid, posted it in July 1st and had to void it so that it went into August. So that was on me. But everything is just monthly bills, except for the Dovin Land Works. That was for the brush cutting, right, that you had. And rural Lorraine County Water Authority, the $20,000, that is for the,
The new fire hydrants.
Yes.
58.
otherwise it's regular monthly bills. And we have, to date, our year-to-date revenue is $1,050,757.82. Got it, David?
1,057,000.
$1,050,757.82. And our year-to-date expenditures is $725,329.44. The only other thing I have is I have not heard back from the new individual that's taking Michael's place regarding the state auditor's office. I'm going to send a message to Kiney because I really would like this wrapped up. And
Yeah, before we go into the next audit cycle.
which is right away in January. And we received the second half property taxes today.
Okay.
So that'll be in for the next.
Are there any questions on the financial reports and the payment listing? Okay, if not, then I'm going to make a motion to approve the financial reports and the payment of items on the payment listing as specified in the documents provided by the fiscal officer.
Second.
Lynch?
Yes.
Urick?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
And that's it, Chris?
That's all I got.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone in attendance. If you have anything to bring before the board, please raise your hand. Okay, Nicole, are you going to speak? And if you, just so the rest of the board knows you, introduce yourself, you know, with your name and where you live, and then what the concern is.
Nicole Stacknick, 8008 Oberlin Road. My question is, where the widening happened for the road for the development, that's where our property is. And my question is, when are they coming back to finish that? They left our yard a mess. We can't basically mow where the line is by the road. And there's basically big asphalt chunks from what they tore up sitting all along the road. So we would just like to know, when are they coming back to finish?
Yeah, Nicole, I don't know that. I don't know if our road superintendent does, but I think I did send to your husband, David, that I had gone and met with the Britta family. Mike wasn't there. I assume who came to the door was his wife. I don't know. I think I woke her up. But I did take photos along that roadway. I also had photos that David had sent me, and I forwarded those over to Bob Kleiber in Lorraine County Engineer's office with the concerns. And Bob indicated that he would check with the contractor. The contractor then responded they would be coming back and level that out, reseed it, take out those chunks, but he didn't have a time frame. And so what I did, since I'd heard from multiple residents, including Jay Bardar, is recommended that they contact the county engineer directly because it's a county engineer project. And I provided the county engineer's phone number. Otherwise, we're just acting as a go-between, you know, and passing along the information.
But why do we have to get a hold of the county? It wasn't our project to begin with.
If you want, we can keep.
I mean,
calling them, but
it's not fair to us. It's our yard. it was very convenient to just mow all the way up to the road, and now my husband or I have to weed whack it. I'll just speak, I'm loud enough, but now we have to,
No, Nicole,
we have to weed whack it all the way down. And if you know where we live, that's a long, I mean, and we could just leave it, but it looks like crap.
yeah, Kevin, did you have a comment?
Well,
And honestly, I don't want to leave it for you to have to do it, because that's what's going to happen.
Nicole, excuse me, please. We got to have order. I asked Kevin to speak now, okay? All right, Kevin?
there was dealings that I had with Jerry, who has the farm field right there, and contacted the county with, and I spoke with Sean to get that put back the way that it was. They actually took too much of his driveway out. And Sean told me, now that would have been 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, said it was going to be a couple weeks before they were going to get back. Now, I did see they did do some berming, maybe over the weekend. But he did say that it was going to be a couple weeks, something with the timing or whatever, but I'll make sure to stop down tomorrow. I'll weed whack all that. I've kind of been doing a little bit of limbo there because of all that construction, but I'll make sure to take care of it. And the jobs that they got going on, you know, I'm sure they would love to already have that done. It takes time, and it's just a
Just know I'm speaking for the rest of the others.
Well, Nicole,
It's not just us. It's
county
the
engineer is
rest
an
of them.
elected position, just like these positions are. I contacted the county engineer. David had called me originally with the concern of the drop-off and wanting the berming done. Now, it wasn't that I had any magical power. It just so happened when David called me and I got a hold of the county engineer, the contractor was already planning on coming back, and so it was like a one-day response. That wasn't because I put pressure on. It was just that was their plan to come back anyway. But we can keep calling too, but you've got a direct vested interest in talking with the county engineer directly. And that's what I would recommend you do. Now, Kevin just offered, since we take care of the road right away, to help weed whack for you in the meantime. What more would you recommend we do?
Never put the development there.
Well, that's your opinion. David, did you have anything? Okay, all right. Okay. Well, we do have a need for an executive session tonight. I've got Lorraine County Assistant Prosecutor Barbara Tamas here. And so, and at this point, unless you have something else for David and Nicole, we'll end up asking you to leave because we're going to stay in here versus go in a separate room to discuss this. So I'm going to make a motion and...
Oh, we're going to do this
Yeah, I don't want Barbara to get stuck here all night. She's been working all day.
now. Okay, you can. That's,
And you know what? Let me find the one that I sent to you, Chris, when I told you
yep.
we...
Oh,
Well,
doing
it just
this.
flies by, you know what I mean?
it's easy.
I got, you know,
We're going to make that 8-3 instead of 8-4.
and I have neglected them. I have, I admit it. But I kind of, like I said, dilly-dally.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we enter into executive session for Ohio Revised Code Section 122.21G3 to confer with Lorraine County Prosecutor concerning disputes involving the public body regarding annexation that are subject of pending or imminent court action, and per Revised Code 122.21G8 to consider confidential information related to the marketing plans of an applicant for economic development assistance and to negotiations with the political subdivision respecting requests for economic development assistance. So that'll be my motion.
Second.
Lynch,
Yes.
Euring,
Yes.
Abraham.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion to return to the regular meeting from executive session at 8:47 p.m.
I'll second that motion.
Lynch,
Yes.
Abraham,
Yes.
Euring.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to try and run through things here quickly. Correspondence, Chris, anything?
No.
David?
I have nothing to bring forward
Danny?
at this time.
No, I have
Okay, you've got one in your packet, Department of Commerce, Class C and D alcoholic beverage permit renewals are coming up. As far as I know, there's no objections to any of the businesses in our township, so we're just going to let that ride and not complain about anything. I'm going to move through the reports quickly. I will mention for the Zoning Board of Appeals has 2 cases up on August 20th. We got M&K Trucking as a conditional use on the east side of State Route 58, which is the former Mullinax property, and they're going to be doing large truck repairs there in the existing 4 bays in that facility. Then on August 27th is an area variance for a new home that the property owner would like to build at 48107 Northridge Road. That is zoned residential agricultural, which has a side yard setback of 20 feet. They're requesting that variance to only be 14 feet 3 inches. And the reason is they've got some wetlands in addition to a treat area that they'd like to not infringe on. So we'll see what the BCA decides on that. I think that'll be a pretty simple one. Roads, Parks, and Cemetery, Kevin?
We have a burial on Friday at Kendig. Park's just being mowed and trimmed. Working on the OPWC. I spoke with Sean DeFalla, county engineer, in the section of Deepwood Lane, which would be the cul-de-sac. It's on the west end, going up 130 feet. You'd be going up the hill towards Foxtail. There could be a section there, and depending on money-wise, then it could also be the intersection of Foxtail and Deepwood Lane could be, say, one application job, and he was pushing the issue to fill out another application because there was more fundage and going towards townships. He said he went to a conference meeting. Maybe you have any thoughts of that, Neil, but he was pushing for 2 applications in Hidden Valley, which I would stay on Deepwood there. There's enough, and we could probably really take a nice chunk of Deepwood and get it taken care of, especially if we do get that, and then with some extra stuff that we could possibly
Well, we'll follow Sean's recommendation. Georgianne, can you bring up the schedule there for the OPWC, round 40? What Kevin's referring to, and this will come up fast, is the paper copies due to the county engineer on September 5th. And so we have, I'm assuming Sean's already given you estimates. I know you talked about this at the previous meeting.
Yeah, no, I do not have the estimates to this, which I could get this definitely on the roll for tomorrow. There's a question with Deepwood Lane and the access going to that quarry back there. I asked Sean if we could eliminate that, and he had said, it can be eliminated, but that would be up to the Board of Trustees if they want to put that in and or not. He could give an estimate to eliminate it and or give an estimate to put it back to where it's at.
But he could give it both ways, right?
Yeah.
That's probably best. I don't know what county planning would say about that. Was that planning put in, was that stub put in when Lorraine still had the planning responsibility?
I think that
Then
that
Georgianne.
stub was left there in case that property in the back would ever
Which is the
become
quarry
developable.
property.
Yeah.
Right
yeah.
now, it's used by
Or
four-wheelers.
Right.
if somebody wanted access to that property, even if you say suppose it was a park and you wanted access to it, there's an access point.
But the question is the access point still there? Do we need to repave the stub street is the question, David. Why?
Not really. might want to stabilize it because it is part of the road. You don't want a liability there, but as far as,
You cut it off
Make
and
it-
put a roll curb.
Just fill it in. Well, he'll
the way
get.
somebody's parking,
You know what you gotta do.
Yeah,
Like I said, it's used more by off-road vehicles zipping through there. I've seen them do it. And I
yeah,
know the previous owners of that property, they didn't like it, but it was not something you can control.
seen people use it as parking overflow too, you know.
yeah, they kind of stopped using it as parking. The one resident that was kind of using it said it got to be too roughed. It's in pretty
Well,
bad.
then you gotta remove concrete, whatever's there, you gotta remove it.
Kevin, you said the second one was the intersection of Foxtail to,
This intersection of Foxtail and Deepwood Lane.
thank you.
Well, let's go with it. I doubt if Sean will have that back to us by our meeting Thursday morning. You know, you're just gonna be talking with them tomorrow, you know, so.
I mean, there is so much on Deepwood that if you could write an application and make it as fuzzy as possible, just say various places, you want to run out of places to do.
Yeah.
That section down by east of Rustic Hill, I mean, it's deteriorating between Rustic Hill and down toward Rosedale, whatnot.
Yeah,
That-
well, David-
that's bad in there.
Are you gonna come to the meeting Thursday morning?
I would like to. I would like
Okay.
to.
I'd like you to be there too, but I'm gonna ask you to keep minutes, and you'll have to get from Chris when we're finished tonight what the final motion number is, so we can continue them in sequence. Probably the biggest thing is just going to be, you know, roll call and whatnot. I don't think there'll be any final
Are we having a
official
meeting
decisions.
or a work session?
It's still a meeting, it's a public meeting, it's
Yeah.
posted. It's only posted because I wasn't sure if you'd show up or not. There will be at least one resident there that's offered, you know, volunteer to come
It says
in.
work session.
And,
What time? 7:30.
yeah, bright and early. But to your
Yeah.
question about being fuzzy, we weren't going to be fuzzy, we were talking about doing as we did before, Hidden Valley concrete repairs.
Which is
Kevin's
neat.
talking about, and I'm not aware of this, that Sean's told him from the county engineer's office, there may be some additional funding for townships only, and that's why it would require a separate application. So they both can be, you know, Hidden Valley concrete, but you're still the engineer to give an estimate. They've got to know meets and bounds, whether there are catch basins that need to be repaired, whether there's additional drainage that we're putting in, because the other thing is we're looking at is trying to leverage stormwater funds to help with our contribution and improve our scoring for the scoring methodology for the grant application.
I know I brought this up before, something that we were doing in the past, and I think it got put off to the side, but it's curb drains. And I think that's helped a lot in a lot of the problems.
That's the additional drainage, if you recall, when
Yeah.
we did the $200,000 loan for Hidden Valley Drive, their curb drains added all the way down. I said Marv was alive then, I remember Marv was the bottom man in the ditch. Okay, but we had to do that with loan money, we just didn't have enough. And we're paying that back, and we're pretty close to paying it off.
And that long already.
Yep,
That's something.
so,
Okay, well, that's something to talk about on Thursday.
all right, anything else, Kevin?
No.
All right, thanks. A lot of work, I know. I seen you guys out there sweating away. Okay, Senior Services Township Administrator, Linda Ashley.
Just a couple things. We have NOPEC money of $2,958. Hold on. let me get my
Georgianne, can you
thing.
bring up the NOPEC one as Linda's explaining things?
So we have, in our escrow account right now, we have $2,958 that has to be used by 11/30. I've been in touch with Kevin and in touch with the NOPEC representative. Her name is Jessica Renner. asking if some of our tools that we have, the blowers and the trimmers and whatever else, that we can convert those to electric, battery powered. Kevin has picked out a few that will use the same batteries that we already have, so if they could be interchangeable and they would work well with our stuff. NOPEC said those do qualify.
Great.
So we probably can come up with about the full $3,000 for the tools. And then the other thing is we have an additional, it's about $23,000, and close to $24,000 extra in addition to the $3,000 that we can use. And the Xerox copier that we're going to buy for $5,000 does qualify. So I think we'll take that $5,000 out of NOPEC so that it'll cost us nothing.
And that's because you've got the Energy Star rating.
Because it's
You
Energy
checked
Star
that.
rating, yes. And that would leave us then with some money in escrow, but we can keep that for another couple years.
I really appreciate you and Kevin working on this to get this done, and there's a list of, they're showing the dollars that are there, but there's a list of potential projects, but David, if you've got anything else, that can brainstorm on this, and that's what I've asked in previous emails, trying to get information as to, where can we get the biggest benefit for our community in using these grant funds. Now, these are in addition to our community event sponsorship,
Yep.
which we use for, our dumpster days, because, that has to be a free event and open, which it is. So it's, okay, anything else, Linda?
Our AED boxes are up. We have one at the park and we have one across the street. The baseball team, the soccer team, there's the softball, baseball, soccer, and football. They're all aware of the codes. I'm still awaiting 2 lease agreements to come in. Signed agreements, I will put a bug in their ear again. I've been kind of on them for about a month, and
Now, with the Amherst Youth Athletic Association, they had some question. I
He
think
had
they had
some-
some ideas they want to discuss too, which I don't know.
I responded to him, but I haven't heard back from him. So
Okay.
I know that there's a board that he meets with to, it's not just a one person
Right.
that can sign the lease and has that, it's a board.
It's always tough when they're all volunteers.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to get them because that lease should have been signed and gone into effect July 15th. So I'm working on that. The AED boxes, like I said, they're up and running thanks to Kevin. Kevin and Russ did a lot of work on them to get them boarded up so that they were more solid and put a latch on them so that we could get the lock through, and we appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin. So we're happy that those are, now we're in compliance.
And we are, and that's, the upgraded agreements is just so that they're aware of it too and what their responsibilities are.
Right, yep. And that's about it.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Linda?
No.
Okay. Let's see, we'll move on. I do, typically, stormwater's the second meeting, but Georgianne, can you bring up the Quarry Creek drainage project? I just wanted the trustees to be aware that the residents over on Middle Ridge and some on Rice Road are concerned with that drainage again, and it's a mess. They had asked for, some help again. This is one where, this is back in 2011, I even wrote a grant to get stormwater funds for it, and they asked to hold off because they thought they were going to be able to do the project themselves for lower cost, and that fell through because there was an agreement among all the property owners. Well, now it is so bad over there, and it was nice that one of the residents agreed they wanted to meet at their home versus the township hall. It was easier for them to get together. I was surprised the number that did show up. Don Romankak agreed to come in, and he was there. It was a nice, casual conversation. Everybody was very respectful. But even Don got to see it. It was, people's rear yards were all flooded that in the past weren't. The one gentleman, because they're on propane also, got certain times of the year he can't get his tank filled. So he's running space heaters in his home, which is not a safe thing to do, just to keep his home heated in the winter. Georgianne, can go up to the north in that agricultural field. Yeah, right, oops, where'd the pointer go? Yep, right there. It's even shown, the residents there are aware, and if you look at older overheads from the auditor's office, at one time that whole section was agriculture. It isn't anymore. You can see the darkened area. The water's being held back, and so now it's too wet to complete that anymore. So even the ag field is getting less valuable, if you will, or not as much available. So they really have a problem there. Don actually, he contacted Pete Zawick to see if Pete could get out there, because he said the first thing they need to do is do a survey. We do not have to fill out an application for that because the stormwater district does have what they call planning grants, which is what normally this would be, which I thought we were going to have to fill out. But Don says he has the funding available to do the initial surveys to determine what needs to be done there. The county engineer's office, with the amount of work they had, said they don't have the time to do it. So I think it's Raptelis, if I'm pronouncing it right, is actually going to do that work and get back with us. Once we've got that, hopefully we can also get a cost estimate, and the grant application, I believe, is due January 1st of 2026. So I know they're not looking up at me, but I'm looking for eyes from Kevin and Linda for help on this once we get the information. The residents were told to send more of the photos. That was recommended. I do have some of them. But just to get some refresh photos, since things have gotten worse, to include with the application. So it's just, you can see I got it shows every property owner there, but Georgiana, if you'll scroll down to the spreadsheet, and most of these property owners were present at the meeting, but there are 15 key properties there that are right now the residential properties that are dealing with problems. There may be more, but these are the ones that were immediately concerned because of losing the use of their property, and it's getting worse. Where some of those structures are, on some of those, on that overhead, they now are surrounded in water. So it's pretty bad.
Where is this at?
This is over on Middle Ridge. It'll be Middle Ridge west of Quarry Road, and then also Rice Road. So, if you read through the names there, you'll even I'm sure you'll recognize some of those names on there, Denny.
Where is it at?
Again, it's on, the worst part is the property owners on Middle Ridge west of Quarry, the intersection with Middle Ridge and Quarry Road. And then if you go just to the north, you got Rice Road up there. So they all have water issues, but the biggest difficulty is the ones along Middle Ridge, where now it's even encroaching on their property. As a matter of fact, the one home, you can see it's rotting out. They've got the wood stair steps going down. It's rotting it out, even treated wood, but it's always underwater. So they need something done. It's not as easy for the township, because typically where we've been doing these stormwater management projects is because the flooding's creating a safety hazard and flooding over our road. Well, in this case, it doesn't impact the township roadway at all. So it's just a matter of private property there, but they all pay into that stormwater fund. So we're just starting the steps now to see what can be done. And I've also cautioned Don with these other projects that are waiting on easements, since we need all the property owners to agree with easements, is, we don't want to be caught in the point where they've approved these projects, we committed to how much we're going to fund. Well, now it's several years later. Well, just cost of inflation, costs are much higher, that we'd like to see a corresponding or proportional increase in the grant funding to match the township's commitment, so that we're not funding a much higher percentage of the project, since costs have gone up since the original grant funding approval. Okay? All right, we'll move on here. And I'm guessing September, that's why I've got a spot on here for resolution, but I have nothing prepared because I'm waiting to get cost estimates. I'm going through now on the complaints as far as cleaning roadside ditch on State Route 113. ODOT originally told me they'd have that done by summertime. I don't see that happening, so I'm going to give them another call or email and say, hey, are you still going to clean those ditches? Because it's similar to the complaint of the Oberlin Road residents is we've got residents on 113 that need work, but that's ODOT's responsibility. It's not something we can do. There was also a complaint that came in from some property owners on Balsam. This was in regards to the drainage ditch behind them that drains part of Hidden Valley. Kevin, you went over and inspected this. Is there anything you can add to this as far as what you saw?
Well, I've been in contacts with these residents. As a matter of fact, I called them yesterday and gave them the up-to-date part that I have here. And there's been a couple of trees that fell down, which then blocked up a little bit of debris that is now, at this time, and it appears that there's 4 spots that will take some doing, but the property is from the resident on Dewey Road. There's 2 properties there, and I spoke with those property owners, and they said that they would sign a temporary easement. I told them what was going on. They said they would sign, so I talked with Linda today. We got the ball rolling that we are going to make up temporary easement, and the one landowner even said that, and we walked it, it's, when it's very dry, he said, you could take your truck back there to, load up. And it's basically going to be a bunch of handwork right there. There's no need to take a piece of equipment in there at this time. But everybody knows everybody knows that is involved with this. Everybody is up to date as of today. We're going to move forward with the easements, and we will be getting this taken care of.
Oh, thank you. That'd be wonderful. Yeah, and it is dry now. It's like the Bat House. That's one of the lowest we've seen in a long time. It's just a trickle. So that's great. Should have figured you guys were on that one. But I'm leaving that assigned to you. You jumped on it first. Okay, as far as the other items, Linda's already covered. NOPEC. Is there anything else that the trustees have assigned responsibility for they need to bring forward? Because there is an order of new business.
I have nothing at this time.
Okay,
No, I have
well then,
nothing.
I do have a prepared resolution here. Denny, you indicated at the last meeting that you resigned as the
Yes.
township's rep of rural Lorraine County Water Authority.
Yes, I did.
Okay, I just wanted to verify that, because I did get a call from Jed Lamb, who serves on rural water, and he had recommended Heath Bouse, and asked if Heath had contacted me. At that time he had, and I'd have to look through my phone directory to see when that was. But Heath did contact me, said he's very interested, so I'm bringing this forward. I did mention this to David, that we would have something here, and David had some other thoughts. So I'm just, before I put this on the floor, I just want to open it up. Is there any concern with nominating Heath Bouse as the township's rep to the Rural Lorraine County Water Authority Board to fulfill the remainder of your term, Denny, which ends December 31st of 2026? Should be a typo. And really, David, it's going to be more your concern since Denny's already stepping off, and he's already stated he's also not running for trustee again.
At some point, this is something that I would be interested in trying.
Okay.
I have interest in it, just About the rural water in all my years. I've been down there.
Okay. And why would that be, David? Because I do have some concerns with that, but that's okay, I understand that. I mean, you don't have a problem with Heath Bowes being there, do you?
With Heath? No, I get along well with Heath. I know of him. We know each other.
Well, let me tell you, and, you know, I know that Jed Lamb called me, Heath called me, and I did also talk by email with Joe Waldecker just to verify we could appoint someone, because I just had Denny tell me this. And I originally misunderstood. When Jed called me, I thought Denny was serving until the end of the year, but now I found out last meeting he's already resigned. Heath is a rural Lorraine County water customer. He says he will be committed to show up. He serves on the fair board, and his family runs a water supply business. So I think he's got those, with those particular items, would be a good add, and even for the longer term. But I also don't want to create any friction here if we have Heath there, but at least this is appointing him through December of 2026. But I think that it's important, in my mind, that people that are on that board are also customers. That to me gives them another feather in the cap as far as what they're considering. So with that being the case then, and hearing what you've said, I'm going to make a motion that Mr. Heath Bowes be and is hereby appointed as said township representative on the Board of Trustees of Rural Lorraine County Water Authority to fulfill the remainder of Trustee Abraham's term, which ends December 31st, 2026. Section 2, if the trustees fail to appoint a replacement for Heath Bowes at the end of his term, Mr. Bowes shall continue to serve as the township's rep on the Rural Lorraine County Water Authority Board until a replacement is appointed, and the rest is all boilerplate. So that'll be my motion.
I second that.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, roll call, Chris?
Lynch?
Yes.
Abraham?
Yes.
Euring?
Yes.
And the number, Chris?
Is 8525.
Okay, is there any other business? All right, our next regular meeting will be at 7 o'clock on, whoops, I got a mistake there, Tuesday, August 26th, 2025, and we will have a work session. You know what? And that's
Which I
why-
won't be at.
Yeah, you won't, but it'll be this Thursday. You know what, Linda, what happened here, because I noticed this motion dropped, I sent you the old version.
Okay.
And, but we will be meeting this Thursday at 7:30. That'll be August 14th here at the Township Hall, focused on the 2026 OPWC Round 40 application and what projects are there, and also potentially chip and seal. So Kevin will definitely be there, and David, if you're there, I'm just going to ask if you keep minutes and get the last motion number from Chris also, okay? And if there's no audience left here, any other business? Have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Abraham?
Yes.
Euring?
Yes.
Lynch?
Yes.